Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 Franchise Dynasty with the Philadelphia Eagles. You can see we took care of business against the New Orleans Saints, and you can see that the Green Bay Packers also took care of business against the Minnesota Vikings. So taking a look at our injury report before we take on the Packers, McNabb, Westbrook, Pinkston, still out for pretty much all of the playoffs. I say pretty much. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode a little bit. Looking at the Packers injury report, they are also missing two important starters, both on the offensive and the defensive side. Donald Driver is out with a stress fracture in his leg, and Hannibal Navies is out with a broken kneecap. That is painful. And we can check out that the Packers made one trade this year. They traded for halfback Charlie Gardner, a starter from Tampa Bay, now a backup behind Ahman Green, for one of their cornerbacks in Mike McKenzie. So that's all of the news that we have to go over from the Packers. You can see the tail of the stats tape here. Their defense is certainly their weakness, standing at 64 overall. They're definitely going to be missing Hannibal in this game, but they have an elite offense, 90 overall, but we have a more elite defense on our side at full strength, 96 overall. And before we jump into this NFC Championship game, it would be awesome if you could leave a like, a comment on the video, and if you haven't subscribed already, we're on the road to 250. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far, and I hope you're looking forward to more NFL 2K5 videos and content. Let's jump right into this one. We have the Eagles versus the Packers. We're here in Lincoln Financial Field. It's a beautiful evening. It's a cold evening. Everyone is bundled up and ready for an exciting evening of football in Philadelphia. You can see this elite Eagles defense is ready and raring to go, as are the defensive linemen and the rest of the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles faithful are back in Lincoln Financial Field ready to cheer on their team, but it would be the Green Bay Packers taking over with the first possession of the game, and Farve would find Bubba Franks over the middle for 17 yards right away, marching the Packers up to a first down in Philadelphia territory. Ahman Green gets his first carry, only 1 yard to the right side on that tackle from Jones. 2nd and 9, Farve to the left side. His pass falls incomplete. Some good defense by the Eagles secondary. 3rd and 9, Farve throwing to his left side again. Outthrows everybody. Dawkins was chasing on the coverage on the backside. Ferguson couldn't get his outstretched hands out to it, and the Packers will punt it away. The Eagles taking over. Blake looking to pass on first down. Slings that one deep over the right side to Freddie Mitchell. Dangerous pass, going to fall incomplete, bringing up a 2nd and 10 from the Eagles 16. Buckhalter gets up the middle, only getting 2 yards on that one. Diggs and Barnett was set upon him very quickly. On the 3rd and 8, Blake looking over the middle. He wanted Chad Lewis on that one. Chad fell right over himself. That's going to be an incomplete pass, giving the Packers the ball right back. They start out with great field position from the Philadelphia 40. You could see Ahman having a wonderful postseason so far with about 4.9 yards per carry. And Green is going to get that toss over to the right side on first down, rolling over to his right, breaking out of a few tackles and getting 6 yards on that play and a first down. 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 28. Farve is going to get sacked here by Javon Terse, breaking down the line for the loss of 2. The Green Bay Packers are in a little bit of a hurry-up offense. Green getting over to the left side, only getting 2 yards that time before Shevkin Jones can get a tackle on him. 3rd and 10, Farve dropping back, throwing it deep over the middle. That one's going to fall incomplete, but we're going to get an Philadelphia defensive holding call on Quentin Jammer over on the right side of the field. I'm not even sure if he was involved with the play, getting that holding call, but keeping the possession with the Packers. That's a 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 23. After that 2-yard gain from Green, this pass here in the backfield, it's going to get called a fumble, although the refs messed this one up a lot, and so the Packers are going to go ahead and try their luck with a challenge here. They don't think that this is a backwards pass. They actually think that it was a forwards pass that Ahman Green just happened to drop, and if you take a look at the replay, I'm not sure if the replay does us any favors there, but you can see that the ruling on the field should be overturned. It was indeed a forward pass that Ahman Green could not hold on to. They're high-fiving about that for some reason, but at the 3rd and 8, Farve driving back in shotgun, slinging it deep over the middle into the end zone. Chatham had a chance to make the grab, but he does not. It goes through his hands, incomplete, which leads to a 38-yard field goal from Ryan Longwell, who kicks it so hard it seems like it was still going up on its way through the uprights. The Packers strike first. It is now a score of 3-0. Green Bay is on top here in Philadelphia. Buckhalter only gets a 1 yard up the middle on first down from the Philadelphia 20, and Blake finally connects to T.O. for 9 yards over the middle. You can see Blake went for 220, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions in the divisional round versus the Saints as Richie gets up the middle for no gain. Nick Barnett was the first Packer to get on him there. 2nd and 10, Blake looking around, throwing that one over the middle for Chad Lewis again, and they can't hook up again. Chad having a hard time connecting with his quarterback so far in this one, but Freddie Mitchell finds some daylight and catches that one for a 16-yard gain, and the Eagles keep the drive alive. On the very next play from the Philadelphia 46, Blake is going to find T.O. over the middle for a 15-yard gain. You can see T.O. is having an absolute monster of a postseason, 150 yards and 2 total touchdowns so far, including a couple catches so far today. Blake is going to complete this one to L.J. Smith over the middle, who has some room to run and uses it to go for 17 yards. And on the 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 22, Blake is going to throw this one with bad timing, and Mark Roman, the backup free safety, in for one of our injured Green Bay Packers, is going to step into that one and intercept it. Jeff Blake's first interception of the playoffs, and the Packers will take over with a chance to extend their lead to at least 6, maybe even 10 here from their own 25. Brett Farve with an empty backfield, going to drop back, toss that one over the middle, almost taken right back by Brian Dawkins. That's going to fall harmlessly to the ground, incomplete. 2nd and 10, Favre dropping back to pass again, slinging this one to the right side. This time Javon Walker has a step on Quentin Jammer. We try to use her to get in there, but he makes the catch. That's a 19-yard gain and a first down up to the Green Bay 44. Favre is going to complete another one, this one out of the backfield for Ahman Green. That's a 9-yard gain, Shepard tackling him just before the first down line, and that is going to end the first quarter. Heading into the second, the Packers are on top in the NFC Championship by a score of 3-0. Ahman Green on the counter to the left to start the second quarter is going to lose one from here. The Eagles get great push over to the left side. Nate Lane gets credited with the tackle, but on the very next play, Green gets the yard that they need for the first down. He's credited with a 3-yard gain, and that's going to move the chains up to the Philadelphia 44. The Eagles defense continues to be stifling. Favre completes that one on the flat to Green. It's going to be no gain, but then he finds Ferguson for 16 yards down the field on the cross route. That's going to bring the 1st and 10 up to the Philadelphia 28, but then Green goes back 1 yard. Kearse doing a great job containing the ball today. That's going to move it back 1, but then Favre continues to move the ball upfield. That's a 13-yard completion to Javon Walker. 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 15. Another pass to the flat, another no gain. Lito Shepard in there on the hit, and on the 2nd and 10 from shotgun, Quentin Jammer steps in front of that pass. He's going to pick that one off, making up for the bad coverage from last time. And we'll take another look at this one. Quentin Jammer, our trade acquisition from the San Diego Chargers. I think he was covering the man on the outside, but when they crossed over each other, he was able to step in. This was man coverage. It worked out well for us. Buckhalter finally getting a little bit of room in front of him, jukes a couple times for a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 now. Buckhalter manages to juke out of the guy that L.J. Smith forgot to block, but there's another guy right behind him. That's only a 2-yard gain. Jeff Blake trying to scramble away from this one. He's going to get tackled by Gabacha Biamila, and that's going to be no gain on the play. I'm not sure if he got to get credited with a sack for that one or not, but anyway, the Eagles will give the ball back over to the Packers. Favre continuing to throw to Green on the flat. He's only going to get 2 yards on that one. It's not really working for them yet. Let's see if they continue to go back to it. Green gets the ball again. He gets 3 yards up the middle on the stop from Trotter. 3rd and 5 for Favre. He throws that over to the right side. It looks like Danny Jones got his hands on it. Danny Jones is the one being highlighted here, so we can only assume as much. And just as quickly as they got the ball, the Packers will punt it right back to the Eagles, taking over from their own 18. And Blake, I wrote down that he gets sacked, but he really got flattened by Cletitus Hunt for that sack for a loss of 4. We finally find Chad Lewis. The Max Chad gets 8 of those yards back. That brings us up to a 3rd and 6. Blake rolling out to his right a little bit more. He finds T.O. wide open down the field. If Freddie had thrown that block on Derek Sharper, then we probably would have been all the way gone down the field, but we will take that 23-yard gain on 3rd down to move the chains up to the Philadelphia 45. T.O. had a chance to get a nice post route and be gone, but Blake just underthrew him there. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. We've got Bruce Perry sitting on our bench, and he comes right off the bench and gets a great toss to the right side for 8 yards. Harris and Barnett are in there on the stop, and Carell Buckhalter, he only needed 2. He manages 7 up the middle. That's going to bring us to a 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 40. Jeff Blake is going to try and scramble out of some trouble, but Grady Jackson gets him on the sack for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Rolling backwards, throwing off of his back foot under pressure, and T.O. is there for the grab. That's a 27-yard gain for Blake to T.O. The Eagles are going to take a timeout to stop the clock here as we are inside of the 2-minute warning, but what a miraculous play from Blake to T.O. And just right away, we get that rollout to the right. Latinas Hunt is straight through the line. It's another sack for a loss of 4. Blake rolling over to his left side, that was another dangerous pass over to Buckhalter. He's lucky that was not interception with bad intentions. Blake rolling left one more time, throwing it over the middle to Tebow, who breaks away from 2 defenders. That's a touchdown for Terrell Owens, his 3rd of the playoffs, his 1st of this game. The Eagles finally get a touchdown on the board with about 30 seconds to go in the first half, and Terrell Owens has put the Eagles up 7-3 as we wind into halftime. So as the teams head into the locker room, the Eagles strike and manage to take the lead by 4 points. Let's head into halftime and see what these stats look like. Looking at the tail of the stats here, we are just dominating the ball from the passing side. We have 133 yards to their 89. We are just barely out-rushing them, but we are outgaining them by a good 48 yards. Even time of possession there, which is super interesting to see, but you can see right there that 80% third down conversion to their 25 is huge. We'll see if we can get a few more balls into the end zone, but our defense is doing exactly what they need to do. The Eagles will take over in the first possession of the second half. Buckhalter doesn't quite get the blocks he needs on that sweep to the left side, and he's going to lose 3 on that one. We're going to get a bunch of those yards right back on the completion from Blake to Owens. That's a 12-yard gain, bringing up 3rd and 1. Richie's going to get the ball up the middle. It looks like he was close, although his knees came down before we would have wanted them to really be like, yeah, that's going to be a first down. And unfortunately, the chains do not lie, or at least they don't lie to the point where we're trying to challenge it. So we're going to go ahead and punt the ball away. The Green Bay Packers take over from their own 36. They immediately vault into Eagles territory. That completion to Javon Walker for 17 yards gives them a 1st and 10 from the 47. Now, Farve, this one gets called an incompletion, and Green Bay chooses to challenge this, which is interesting because they've already used the challenge earlier in the game, but I guess their mindset here is if they're going to get yards whenever they can take yards, and indeed it's called in, and the call is overturned, so it's a 6-yard gain that they did that challenge for, and they're now out of challenges. And luckily they get the first down here thanks to that 5-yard run by Ahman Green, so it sort of paid off, and Green's going to get that run again through the middle, a little bit to the right side. It's a 6-yard gain thanks to the tackle from Dawkins. We get a toss to the left side, and Jeremiah Trotter is straight on that. That's only a 1-yard gain, 3rd and 3 up for the Packers. Farve is going to roll up, throw over the middle. There's going to be a flag on the play. I believe that flag was on the Packers for holding, so we decline it, and we give the Packers a 44-yard field goal by Ryan Longwell. So I guess that challenge turned into 3 points for the Green Bay Packers. I suppose they would have preferred if it turned into 6 for them. On the first down for the Eagles off the kickoff, Blake is sacked again by Gavaja Biamila. That's a loss of 4. That's going to bring up 2nd and 14. This one is going to be in and out of the hands of Terrell Owens. He's not Superman. He can't catch them all, I suppose. On the 3rd and 14, Blake rolling out to his right side, throwing it up for Mike Bartram, which is an absolute dream and a prayer. And why the Green Bay Packers decided to defend him so tightly that they would get slapped for a pass interference. That's bad scouting. They did not understand who they were covering. That just gifts the Eagles a 1st and 10 up at the Philadelphia 38. The struggles between Blake and Chad Lewis continue as he misses him on that one, but the struggles do not continue for Freddie Mitchell, who has that grab over the outstretched hands of Al Harris, and he has the speed to burn, gets tackled from behind, but he is all the way into the end zone. That is a 62-yard touchdown reception for Freddie Mitchell, and the Eagles potentially have broken the seal. They are now at 14-6 as we see this beautiful grab from Freddie one more time. He has truly stepped up into the second receiver role ever since Todd Pinkston went down with the torn ACL. And we can see here as the Packers take back over that they have just struggled on offense to put anything together, only managing 2 field goals, and that does not help. Danny Jones gets his 2nd interception and as many playoff games on just that quick throw and interception from Brett Farve. You can see here it must have been a planned slant route. We were sitting back in the zone, and Danny yoinks that one away and gets a few yards back to boot. The Eagles take right back over from the Green Bay 19, and it's only going to take Correll Buckhalter 1 run. He spins out of 1 tackle. The rest of the defense overcommitted a little bit, and it's a foot race into the end zone that the Admiral wins. And the Eagles score twice pretty much within like 30 seconds of each other. 2 touchdowns. We're now up 21-6. And would you believe me if I told you that the scoring was not over here? You better believe it, folks. We're showing a kickoff, and that can only mean one thing. Remember back in the beginning of the episode where we said that the Green Bay Packers traded for Charlie Gardner, so they now have basically a starting level halfback as their kick returner, and he's not doing anything else? Well, this is why he is here, I guess, because he takes this one all the way back to the house. Charlie Gardner, the trade piece from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, returns a kickoff for a touchdown in the NFC Championship and single-handedly puts the Packers back into this one. What an absolutely wild sequence. A 62-yard touchdown as Buckhalter gets to the left yard for 4 yards. An interception, a 19-yard touchdown for back-to-back touchdowns for the Eagles pretty much, as we see throughout Buckhalter's day so far, averaging 4.5 yards per carry and having 1 touchdown. And then a kickoff right behind that is returned for a touchdown. That's just an absolutely wild sequence of events as Chad Lewis continues to struggle, basically tripping over himself for the 3-yard gain that could have been a first down and more. And Freddie Mitchell cannot hold on to this one. I think he's looking for a flag or something like that. He's not going to get one. It's never coming, and the Packers take back over from their own 40. Green continues to struggle, only getting 1 yard up the middle right there from Nate Wayne on the tackle. This time he manages 7 yards up on the middle right side, but you can see here he is truly struggling to break loose in any direction that he's running in. That's a massive credit to our defense being very, very stout from the line all the way to the secondary. And speaking of a stout secondary, Brian Dawkins breaks that pass up from Farve, bringing up a punt, and the Eagles will take back over from their own 21. Buckhalter's going to run to the right, only getting 2 yards on a little juke there from the tackle on Darren Sharper. Blake's going to throw this one over the middle. He was looking for T.O. there dangerously, almost intercepted again. Some of these miscues have almost really hurt the Eagles, but so far it hasn't really bit them in the butt too hard. Blake's going to find that one to T.O. for 25 yards over on the left side, and the Eagles are still in the lead, but you got to be telling them that there's a chance at this point. They're only up 21-13 as we head into the fourth quarter. Buckhalter gets that handoff on the first play from the fourth. He's going to get up the middle for 6 yards. Nick Barnett making the play, bringing up a 2nd and 4. Buckhalter getting a little bit of daylight over on that left side. He's going to get 5 yards and a first down, bringing up that first up to the Green Bay 41. And Bruce Perry continues to have success on the outside of the field. He's been a really great role player for us this year. And if more importantly than anything else, he hasn't gotten hurt. That was a 10-yard gain from Perry over on the right side. After the 1-yard gain from Buckhalter, he gets up the middle for 3 yards, and you hate to see this. Buckhalter goes down again with some back spasms. We'll check out the injury report at the end of the game to see what his status is. And on the very next play, Jeff Blake's just going to go, F it, I'm going to throw it up to T.O. and see if he can catch it. And turns out that when you throw it up for T.O. and a guy that's shorter than T.O., he's pretty much going to catch it every single time. So you see that toss-up from Blake. T.O. has that height. He basically just mossed him. He just completely mossed his defender. He was just taller, and he was better. And the Eagles go back up 2 touchdowns. It's now 28-13 as Favre misses his first pass from the Green Bay 25. 2nd and 10. Quick drop back. Favre throwing deep over the right side. This one's going to be dropped on the hit by Favre's receiver. He is missing Donald Driver. I'm sure he's missing him a whole bunch right now. We also haven't heard much from Bubba Franks ever since that first reception, and that pass is going to be knocked away by our guy Tyrone Williams, and the Eagles take back over from their own 47. John Ritchie, the fullback, going to draw up the middle for 6 yards on the stop for Lennon. 2nd and 4, Perry on another toss to the right side. We really unlocked something with this toss to the outside or any runs to the outside. It seems like they don't have the speed to keep up with Bruce Perry on the wings, and our receivers are doing a great job of blocking today. John Ritchie's going to get the run again up the middle, only a 3-yard gain on the stop from Diggs, but then again we're going to have Bruce Perry just take another toss to the left side for a solid 12-yard run after that beautiful juke. This guy's rated in the 50s, and he's been running like an absolute, elite running back so far in the postseason, especially at the end of this game today after Buckhalter went down. Again, Perry looked like he was dead to rights, manages to use his speed. That huge juke sends 2 players flying, and that is a 14-yard gain, so we figured let's just give the Rook a touchdown. Our guy just, Sonic the Hedgehog, leaps into the end zone. Bruce Perry, the rookie out of Oregon, who knew we were going to be saying his name so much this season, gets into the end zone, extends the lead 35-13. The Packers would fail to convert on a 4th down on their final drive to keep the thing alive. Andy Reid is headed back to the Super Bowl. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? How life repeats itself from 2004 all the way to 2024, but this time it's going to be with the Philadelphia Eagles. They return to the Super Bowl. They'll be facing the Buffalo Bills, who put up some numbers in the AFC Championship, so it'll be an interesting matchup, especially if we will be missing Correll Buckhalter and Brian Westbrook in the Super Bowl. But we'll check out our numbers right here. We passed for 262 yards. We ran for 123. We'll see in the individual stats that was pretty much split evenly between Perry and Buckhalter before he went down. A total of 385 yards and only the one turnover. A great day for the Eagles. A great day for Jeff Blake. 13 completions out of 23 attempts. He threw for 57% overall, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. His first interception of the playoffs, but you can't be perfect. Bruce Perry came in and dominated, 6 attempts for 59 yards and an average of 9.8. Buckhalter was also running really well for that average of 4.2 before he got hurt. He also had that touchdown, and of course our MVP, Terrell Owens, 8 catches, 156 yards. He was also able to get into the end zone 2 times, as was Freddie Mitchell with that beautiful 62-yard touchdown reception. Everyone was firing on all cylinders, including Lito Shepherd with 8 tackles in the secondary. Javon Curse had an amazing game. Brian Dawkins had an amazing game, 6 tackles total. Javon Curse did manage to get that sack in there as well, including 4 tackles as well, a bunch of them for a loss. He really paid for his contract a little bit in this game, if I would say so. We'll see how he plays in the Super Bowl. And of course, Quentin Jammer and Danny Jones getting a couple of interceptions for this Philadelphia Eagles defense. So that's going to do it for this one. We defeat the Green Bay Packers. We are the champions of the NFC, but we're not satisfied being the champions of the NFC. And you can see here, we're going to have to do it without Correll Buckhalter. He's out for the championship. And with Brian Westbrook doubtful, we may have to change up some of our stuff and let our guy play, but we'll talk more about this matchup next time we're back for the Super Bowl. The Eagles will be facing the Buffalo Bills, and that's going to do it for this NFC Championship episode. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't subbed up to the channel yet, we're on the road to 250. I would be honored if you were one of the newest in that group of soon-to-be 250 subscribers. Let's just put it into the universe and let it happen. Also, like the video and leave a comment if you feel so inclined. It always helps with that hashtag engagement. For myself, Peanuts247, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.